obviously today is up against the world's best player at the moment in Djokovic, so I'm not sure he's going to give Murray any kind of chance here. Does he have anything left in the tank physically, Murray? That's the big question that he has to answer first. But in terms of tactics, I think it's so hard to say with Murray, because suddenly he turns it around and the other guy starts getting a bit nervous and stops hitting his shots, and I've seen it so many times. But this is the finals, and it's a little bit different, I guess. I might just be wishing too.
If it is the occasion, if it is trying to win his first major, is such a big deal. Being 2 sets down now, surely that will release him at this point.
Well, you would think all the pressure is off now. I mean, now his back's up against the wall. So what? Even if he loses 6-1, 6-love in the third, it doesn't matter. It's you know, it's much easier to play tennis now for Murray.
To get a break at the start here would certainly help him on his way.
I mean, very few finals go according to plan completely. So I wouldn't... Djokovic is bound to stumble at some point.
Might be over that moth.
But Djokovic is starting to remind me a lot of Ivan Lendl here. I think he's physically... He was always very fit and very flexible, but it seems to me that he's physically stronger, and with that has come a stronger mind. Remember the great Ivan Lendl won his first major when he was 24 years old, and then won 8. And he was not a winner early on in his career. In fact, he was weak in the big moments. First 3 or 4 times I played him, he was weak, and then he became so strong because of that. Feels like Djokovic is on a mission. That's what I'm trying to say. It's positive. His mate decided, I'm not going to show negative emotions. My body language is going to be good.
And in a way, the dip in his career, the dip in his form, the off-court, the way it changed back home, taking a tournament back home and so on. He's almost stronger for that now because he's come through it.
Racket change after the 2008 Australian Open. That's a very tired shot.
And only he knows whether it is just the nerves that have got the better of him tonight, the occasion again, whether it is fatigue. But it's been at the coolest Open for years and years and years up until today. He's got through his first 4 rounds very comfortably.
Yeah, he hasn't really been tested in this heat, and also in terms of opposition.
Murray sends it on the right baseline, the ball is cut out.
He's nearly too tired to challenge. It's good, but there is something that I think is troubling if you're an Andy Murray fan. It is that there's no fire in the mind and in the eyes. You can be exhausted. It is the last match of the tournament. There needs to be more fire. You need to show your opponent, I'm still here. He's not doing a very good job with that.
He needs as much help as he can get right now.
I think he'll He'll remember that game that he was serving at 4-3 against Federer. Dropped his serve in the third set, Djokovic, and came back and broke straight away. Just pulled up there a little bit, Djokovic.
Another break point.
That was a come on, though. That's good.
Now, will that give him a boost of energy? They're hoping so. They're trying to lift him. He's trying to lift himself and make a match of this final. Murray breaks at the start of the third.
Yeah, it's obviously an important game, but he has been the better player here for the last 20 minutes since Djokovic went up 5-0. And he's just playing momentum now, Andy Murray, hopefully, and not the scoreboard.
And he has done it 4 times before, come from 2 sets down. The first time was when he was just 18 against Andy Ram of Israel in the Davis Cup match, interestingly. That must have felt good. And then Gasquet at Wimbledon, of course, 3 years ago. Meltzer, US Open, as Fru mentioned earlier, 3 years ago. And at the French last year, again against Gasquet, from 2 sets behind, winning in the first round. So it's there, he can draw on it.
Well, I think he's learned so much about his opponent and done so much damage mentally to his opponent after 2.5, 3 hours that he's able to come back in these matches if he physically can do it. Oh, it's a great shot from Djokovic. But Murray came to the net. And it's a slight change already.
Just his 9th visit.
You're not counting the coin toss then, are you? Could have been in more.
Yeah. There was such an obvious change of tactic against Ferrer. There hasn't been in this so far. It's like he's in quicksand, Murray, mentally and physically.
Well, to me, it's like he's just waiting and waiting and waiting until that moment arrives. And I think sometimes, yes, it's too late.
Yeah, and that reaction there is what you're saying as well, isn't it? There's no fight in that error.
No, I mean, I don't even like the grunt or the moan that he lets out, because that's telling your opponent that I am really tired in the corner. I mean, yeah, that's not what big Grand Slam champions do, that's for sure. That's a lazy forehand.
15-40.
Apologies again. Still cannot believe umpires these days, they say nothing about the language.
Yeah, it's like Hawkeye has taken over completely. They're not involved at all.
It's not his night, that is for sure. It's a trudge back. The break's gone.
Well, that's just a horrible, I mean, that's just horrible technique. I wish they showed that overhead again. That ball was at least half a meter to the right. You can't hit an overhead over there. That needs to be pretty much straight over your head. I mean, from out there, there's no chance. Unless you're just trying to slice it in, which he wasn't, because he hit it flat. That's the easiest shot in the book for the professionals.
Djokovic is challenging the ball on the right far sideline. The ball is called out.
Yeah, it was good.
3 points.
And again, no reaction from Djokovic. Really strong.
You look at the two greatest ambassadors of this sport and all other sports, Federer, Nadal. If you really saw negative body language, you would be so shocked. You'd know there was something seriously wrong.
Yeah, that is the last thing you do, is give up how you really feel on the inside. Just don't show it on the outside. I don't think you'll find one Grand Slam champion with that in him. Not a multiple Grand Slam champion anyway. Just gives away too much to your opponent.
30-32.
It's interesting hearing your point earlier too about the fact that Djokovic these days doesn't even really celebrate with a fist pump and get really excited with his fans or for big point one and so on. It's those imposters again, they're all the same.
Yeah, very impressed.
Djokovic is challenging the call on the right service line. The ball is got out.
And that is something that we were searching for and sort of wanting him to do a couple of years ago, and he hasn't, and he's finally done it. And look at the difference. Incredible. I mean, a big difference in his level as a tennis player.
Two games in a row for Djokovic. Reasserts his authority in this final. It still looks as though there's only going to be one winner. Murray must win service games. 2 sets down. He was a break up this third set, but now back on serve at 1-2.
There's a couple of things that go when you're really tired. It's his second serve and his forehand, and he's hit some shocking forehands. That second serve has nothing in it.
He's going to be demanding big time, isn't he? Getting this done in 3.
Absolutely.
It's about the only obstacle left and hope for Murray, isn't it?
Yeah, I think so, but there's just no way that Djokovic is gonna start showing any negative body language now. It has to be Murray that steps it up. And it's his spirit that needs to be lifted first. You know, I saw Rainer Schüttler, remember when he made the finals against Andre Agassi? Even Rainer Schüttler was coming to the net towards the end of that match because he was so outplayed. And eventually, I can't remember what the score was, but it was sometime early in the 3rd set, and he started charging. Because what am I going to do? This is over soon. I've got to try something. So you would think Murray at some point will try something different.
I mean, I think the other problem as he goes break points down again is the mood he's in. We've seen the body language. We've heard the language, which is the same colour as the court. It's almost like he's unable to think about what he's got to do to turn it around. He's stuck in what's gone wrong and what he's not doing.
Yeah. At least if he starts missing after a shot or two, it means he's going for his shots, Murray. But then again, he might feel something that it's hard to see. He might feel that this is not so far away. He'll drag Djokovic down to his level.
That's not going to help. Edberg had a nightmare with foot faults in Australia. Well, 1540 to deuce. Hiccup for Djokovic. Does it help Murray?
Oh, and that's going for it a little bit more, or a lot more. And unfortunately, it has to be nearly on the line for it to be a winner against Djokovic.
Break point again. 5 of 10 so far converted. Loved that serve all tournament. Keeps him in this game.
Yeah, really, and that's the forehand that Murray doesn't have in terms of a technical part of his game. It's slightly inside out because his grip, I think, is not maybe not far enough over where he can hit it more in front of him and hit it to the right. He sort of hooks the forehand a little bit, Stefan Edberg-like, and he didn't have an inside-out forehand either. And even the forehand down the line is hard to hit for Murray.
Has he made it? He hasn't. Now, will Djokovic cover the wide serve, or is it time for Murray to switch?
Well, I'm surprised that Djokovic didn't go harder with that shot. We did hear before that they're good friends, but that's also kind of a sign that this match is over. I don't need to drill you with this shot. Look at that again.
Use.
Remember last year's final, he did come back towards the end against Federer, and if he gets that third set, things could have turned around. And that is how Andy Murray plays tennis, and always will, most probably.
Just the energy that we've seen and the strength in his body and mind in this tournament, it's just not there.
Yeah, there's no explosiveness at all in that footwork right there. Very slow getting back out for that last backhand. And he's usually so strong out there on that side.
Yeah. Sixth break point of the game.
That's a really nice explosive backhand down the line. I wonder what she knows that we don't know, because she seems very positive still. That's a really good return. That's probably a second serve that skidded off the service line, which made Djokovic slightly late, which also made the return quicker and flatter than he had intended. That's why Murray is late. Tripped there, Murray.
Sort of sums up his night so far, doesn't it, that point?
Yeah, well, he's trying to come in here, and obviously because he hasn't been into the net, he's uncomfortable at the net. Stumbles.
Break point again. Made it. He denies Murray the lifeline of holding that game. Djokovic breaks. They're celebrating. There's still work to be done. But at 2 sets and 3-1, he looks like he's going to canter to the win.
That's such an important point for this match. I mean, Murray he's not in the match, but he's trying. And Djokovic picks the right side and then threads the needle. He knew it before he even hit it. Oh, it must feel so good. This is a good feeling. 2 sets to love up, 3-1, break up, and it's a much better feeling than the one you get after you've won. People always ask you that, well, how happy were you? Well, I was sad it was over. Because it was so much fun, especially when you get ahead. It's so exciting. And he's there right now. Murray has stepped it up here a little bit, closer to the baseline, placed the ball earlier, and sort of relaxed his arm a little bit.
And I suppose with that reaction of Djokovic we saw at the end of that last game, the next game, how often do we say it? This next game becomes more of a challenge to back up the break.
Definitely. It must have been a change of mind there for Murray. Or a late decision to suddenly pull that cross court, because that missed by a lot. Not easy to play though now. How good does it have to be? Or do I just sort of reel myself in a little bit, play within myself? It should be enough, being up 2 sets and a break.
Amazing, that choice. So let it bounce by Djokovic off this.
He thought that was going way wide, it just looked like. Hoping, wishing dangerous to enter that.
Break back points. He's starting to express himself now, isn't he, Djokovic?
And that's what he's doing so well these days.
It's his wishful thinking, I think, from Murray.
Yeah, that's the difference. It's okay to show negative emotion, but if you get yourself out of it straight away, and the next point you come back and you play a positive point. Djokovic is managing to do that.
He's missed a few of those. So that's the first sign of Djokovic really just struggling himself a little bit with the occasion. Does it lift Murray? It's certainly a lifeline. 2-3 third set. So he still hangs in, Murray.
Thank you. Ready for play, 6 please.
2 hours and 15 minutes. 2 sets down, 2-3 down, third set.
Well, he's in the hole, Murray, and he's trying to drag Djokovic into the hole with him. So Murray hangs in. That's its trademark, it seems. He's just waiting for the small opportunity to turn things around.
38.
Which I guess is why his player box always seems to be very upbeat and positive, because they know, obviously, that that's the way their man plays. It's just a long way back, though. And look, he's got really quick feet still, Djokovic.
Just about 1 in 3 points, one behind his second serve in the match. Double fault starting to increase.
It's just the basic shots that are going wrong now. You can't afford to miss a backhand like that, especially when he's trying to do nothing with it. That's just bad footwork, really.
Thank you. Please.
Yet another break point. His 16th. He's already broken 6 times. Hit the serve. Murray's screaming out. Djokovic is hitting himself on the head for not hitting the return. He's really struggled to deal with that kicker onto his backhand. But it's slow enough. You'd think by now he'd be using his feet to try to find the forehand.
Yeah, definitely. Well, I think very often, I mean, it needs to be said that Murray does look like sometimes that he's screaming at his box, but he's actually talking about himself to his box. So it's not always about them. Why would you not let that bounce?
Exactly. That hit, what, the first 2 strings in on the side of the frame?
Oh. I mean, that's a very, very high lob.
Again, though, hanging in is the expression, isn't it?
Well, he's really like the boxer who's just hanging on his opponent, and umpire says fight, and he's like, no, I can't. The other guy's trying to push him away, and he's just hugging his opponent.
He holds. It's not over yet. It's 3-all third set.
I mean, I think that is definitely Andy Murray's strength, is that it does appear that he does not care about what the scoreboard says over and over and over again in matches. And sometimes it's too much ground to make up, and he loses the matches.
It was amazing what he said to Jim Courier in his on-court interview after Ferrer. He said about saving the set point, and Andy said, I actually lost the score. I didn't realize it was set point.
Really?
Yeah, to back up what you just said. It's amazing.
Wow. But again, though, that is one way to play against lesser players who are not used to winning. And he does need a little help from his opponents because of the way he plays, Andy Murray. He is getting some help here from Djokovic. He's getting a little bit frustrated, it feels like. It's way out, too. Desperate challenge.
15-all. Djokovic has 2 challenges remaining.
They've got to be in the right place at the right time, too, haven't they? Comes to taking shots. Sixth ace for Djokovic. He hasn't served a double fault yet.
He's had a few lucky points, Djokovic. That's typical, isn't it? Tries to come. And just tries to come forward, and then this happens. It'll make him stay at the baseline, you would think. That's his shot of the match, isn't it? Very much so.
2 sets and 4-3 Djokovic now. All must-win service games. New balls in play. 2 sets down, 3-4 down. Legs deserting him again.
Yeah, it just looks like that ball took a funny bounce or skidded through, or he couldn't get down for it. So taking a page out of Rafael Nadal's book the other night when he played against David Ferrer, Andy Murray wasn't about to retire, even though he clearly should have. Not showing anything, not even wanting to talk about his injury in the press conference, Nadal. Out of respect for David Ferrer.
It's a pretty rare thing, isn't it? I think Nadal, with his losses, gains even more fans than when he wins.
Very true. Very true. I mean, and he was obviously so disappointed that he had to retire here last year against Andy Murray. I have a feeling he could hardly walk off the court that day. But yeah, he's such a class act. Remember that thing, the sentence that his mom just said, that he doesn't care about him being a tennis player. He's just supposed to be a normal human being. Oh, great shot.
We've seen little of the abnormal tonight. Maybe that, plus the smile, to try to lighten the mood.
Where does that smile come from suddenly? Very strange behavior. Very hard to read, Andy Murray. It's a roller coaster, though. Not far away there. But Murray coming forwards, asking the question. And this needs a first serve here, Murray.
Using his feet for the forehand this time.
No, it's just too good. Well, he caught Murray by surprise with that forehand down the line. That's a very confident player running around and hitting a forehand on this shot. He's got such quick feet. You can hear his little steps, Djokovic. And in today's men's tennis, you have to have not just one good volley, but a couple. Which is why it's so hard to get into the net and win points at the net.
Break here. He'll serve for the title, Djokovic. He does, and will. That final you mentioned, Mats, Agassi, Schuttler, 2003, 6-2, 6-2, 6-1 Agassi. If Djokovic serves out here, this will be the most one-sided final since then.
Yeah, and I think the score is justified. This is the difference between these two players, has been tonight, that's for sure. Even though Murray is most probably closer here towards the end of this match, but he certainly wasn't close the first half of it.
Serving for the championship, Djokovic.
15.
And again, there's an instant reaction, an instant negative reaction on Andy Murray here. I mean, there is nothing wrong with the tension in his racket, and what he did there is, and if there is, then he should have fixed it by now. Have stringers on standby. That's the one part of this game that he needs to learn, and he couldn't learn it. It is when Djokovic comes back from this backhand and hits this slice forehand. That's where Andy Murray needs to be at the net, so that he cannot just get that ball back in play, Djokovic, but he has to put something into it. That's the next step for Andy Murray in his tennis if he's going to challenge for the biggest tournaments in the world against the best players in the world. It's really good to see Novak Djokovic though in this mood. So positive throughout the whole tournament.
Two hours and 38 minutes it's taken Novak Djokovic to get to championship point. He's got it. Novak Djokovic, for the second time, is the Australian Open champion. They embrace for the moment. The wait for Great Britain goes on, 75 years and counting. Djokovic handled the occasion, the match, the opponent, totally tonight. 6-4, 6-2, 6-3. It is the easiest win in an Australian Open final since 2003.
Well, yeah, it was slightly one-sided. Andy Murray making a bit of a comeback towards the end, but a fitting end to an Australian Open that was really dominated by Novak Djokovic. It didn't look too convincing in some of the early rounds, but once the opposition got harder, he really stepped it up. And Thomas Berdych, Roger Federer, and Andy Murray in a row, 9-0 with no chance of really losing a set. Incredibly well done. And he has many more Grand Slams in him to win. And that #1 ranking in the world is going to come his way too soon if he keeps this attitude up and this work ethic.
There's not going to be much left by the time he's finished on this. Go on, Novak, I dare you. You can safely say he's pleased. It's his second major off the back of the Davis Cup triumph last year. Life is pretty sweet right now.
Well, I think he's going to get back on that party train that he was on after the Davis Cup and keep celebrating. Really well done. Congratulations to Novak Djokovic.
Something else to try to learn from for Andy Murray. Yes, the Sir Norman Brooks Trophy. Won this tournament 100 years ago, Norman. Everard Brooks was the first president LTA of Australia, held that position for 28 years. He was born in Melbourne. His father was rich from gold mining in the Bendigo area, and he went to Melbourne Grammar School. He was the first non-Brit to win singles at Wimbledon. He won the singles and doubles there in 1907 and 1914. And he was a major figure in establishing the Australian Open. How proud his father would have been. The Aussie Open now, such a gold mine in itself.
Incredible. Yeah, they really turned this tournament into one of the big ones. It's up there at the same level as the other three these days. One of the reasons for that, I think, is the crowd, because it's very often every night session is full. It's a beautiful arena. It's very compact and perfect viewing for from every chair in here. Much better than the other ones, I think.
Yes, yeah, it's wonderful.
It's a happy Grand Slam. People are nice. Players are fresh after Christmas and New Year's. Everybody's excited about the new start of the year, so everybody's forgotten the problems of last year. They're looking ahead, or they had a good year last year, so they're happy about starting a new year. So it really comes at a perfect time, and it really brings out the best in most players.
And for Murray, Matt, what has he got to tweak if he's ever going to win one of these wonderful trophies?
Well, he is a very clever player. He plays within himself, which I really like. And he gets players to play worse at some point in the match. Sometimes he runs out of time, and it happens right at the end. And it nearly happened this year against Djokovic. The scoreline doesn't suggest so, but he's not that far away of maybe snatching a set, or at least he got Novak to play a little worse towards the end. But I think that he really needs to add the aspect of coming to the net once in a while. He doesn't even have to win the point but when, for example, today Novak Djokovic was out there in the split slicing the forehand, there is nothing he can do with that sliced forehand except get it back and play. And Murray needs to be at the net at that time, so just to tell Novak that you can't do that. I'm going to be here. You got to do more. You got to take a chance. You got to hit a risky passing shot that you're going to miss 3 times out of 4, and that's how he wins points at the net. I think that's the tweak he needs to do. If he doesn't do that, I don't think he's ever going to beat the three best players in the world in a final.
And a tweak as a person, the negative body language, the negative verbal language that we've seen, does that get in his way as well?
Well, I mean, that's pretty obvious. I think a tweak as a person, and again, I brought up the Nadal's. His mom said that, you know, I don't care about him being a great tennis player. He just has to be. He needs to be a normal person. And I do have to say that when you watch Murray, it nearly seems like the opposite. I don't care what you do. I don't care what you say. Well, he doesn't care as long as he wins tennis matches. And that comes back to haunt you off the court. I don't care what people are like, but on the court, you want to be the best player you can be, and you want to win tennis matches. You got to behave in a certain way, and the way he behaves, it's not good enough. It just is not good enough, and he won't win anything.
Sandy Roberts will lead the presentation.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, what a wonderful fortnight and what a wonderful night tonight, having witnessed two great champions and now a dual Australian Open champion. Will you show your appreciation for both players? So time now for our official presentation, and I'm joined once again by the President of Tennis Australia, Mr. Steve Healy, and the Vice President and the COO of Kia Motors, and they've been fantastic sponsors once again this year in Thomas O. So ladies and gentlemen, first up, please make welcome to the microphone, Thomas O.
Gentlemen, congratulations on such a great display of tennis today. On behalf of Kia Motors family, I'd like to thank both of you for demonstrating to the world why the Australian Open is the most exciting Grand Slam of them all. Your perseverance, classy sportsmanship, and the true love for the game are why Kia Motors is such a proud supporter of this event. Now, in our 10th consecutive year as a major sponsor, we at the Kia Motors look forward to new decade of a partnership with Tennis Australia. As we are much more than prepared to take the Australian Open to even greater heights. Once again, congratulations to both of our finalists. Thank you.
And now, ladies and gentlemen, the President of Tennis Australia, Mr. Steve Healy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we've witnessed a magnificent and dramatic culmination to a fantastic fortnight of Australian Open 2011. My thanks to Kia Motors, our major sponsor, for their invaluable support, and to all of our associate sponsors and our corporate partners who provide so much and enable this event to proceed. My special thanks to our CEO, Steve Wood, the Tournament Director, Craig Tiley, the Tournament Referee, Wayne McEwen, and each and every one of the 4,500 staff that do everything to maximise the player and spectator experience here at the Australian Open. And a special thanks to the 651,127 spectators that have entered the gate this week. You contribute to the unique spirit and identity of the Australian Open every year. We love the way that you cheer for the underdog and support those players that give their all, but salute the champions. Thank you. And thank you also to the TV audience and other media interest all around the world, which has been truly phenomenal. To Andy Murray, commiserations tonight. Your talent and determination has lit up the last 2 weeks, and I feel sure that it's just a matter of time before you fulfil your destiny and win your first Grand Slam. And to Novak Djokovic, a masterful display this evening of power and precision. You've won your second Australian Open tonight to go with your first Davis Cup last year for Serbia. And by beating Roger Federer in the semis and Andy Murray tonight, you've well and truly earned the right to have your name inscribed upon the Norman Brooks Challenge Cup for the second time. Well done and thank you.
Thank you, Steve. So to begin our presentation, ladies and gentlemen, I'll ask our chair umpire, Luke Garner, to come forward. He did a magnificent job tonight and for the entire fortnight for a small gift from Tennis Australia. Thank you, Jake. Congratulations to chair umpire Jake Garner. To our runner-up, well, he's been here before in this situation, but he's very, very close to cracking it, and I'm sure he will. Ladies and gentlemen, Andy Murray.
Famous quote last year, of course. I can cry like Roger Federer. I just wish I could play like him. What this year?
Try and keep it together this year. Okay, firstly, I'd like to congratulate Novak and his team. He had an unbelievable tournament, deserved to win. So great job, and I look forward to playing against you in the future. I'd also like to thank my team over there. We put in a lot of hard work together. Didn't quite do it this time, but you know, hopefully I'll come back and I'll have more chances in the future. I'd like to thank Craig Tiley, the tournament director. I'm sure everyone will agree he does an unbelievable job. He puts on one of the funnest tournaments of the year for everyone. I absolutely love coming back here, and you do a great job, so thank you very much. I'd also like to thank all of the volunteers, sponsors, the ball kids, umpires. Even though I give them a hard time, sometimes they have an unbelievably difficult job, and they do so well. You know, the volunteers make all of this possible. So thank you very much to everyone who helps put the event on. And finally, to the fans, unbelievable support the last few weeks. Thank you very much. And yeah, look forward to coming back next year and trying to win. Thank you.
Andy Murray, ladies and gentlemen. So now to our winner. At the moment, he is the hottest player in the world, and he showed us exactly why tonight with a truly outstanding performance. His name is already on the Norman Brooks Trophy. It is now on there for a second time. Ladies and gentlemen, our 2011 champion, Novak Djokovic.
$2.2 million Aussie dollars as well for the champion. 1.1 million Aussie dollars for the runner-up. But that is what it's all about, the trophy.
Okay, thank you very much. Well, firstly, I want to congratulate Andy for a great 2 weeks, and he has played finals here in the last 2 years. To his team, you know, we know each other for such a long time, and it was really difficult to play against you tonight. It's a tough one. Hopefully, you know, you will have another chance to win Grand Slam trophy. I'm sure with your talent you will. Secondly, of course, to my team that's been with me for a while now. I have the best team in the world. I love you guys, really. And it's individual sport, and it all seems that comes down to individual effort, but it actually is, you know, the backstage, let's call it, you know, the people who are in your team, they're making you feel comfortable to play your best and put your best effort on the court. So thank you guys, and then of course the tournament director and three major Kia major sponsor, Jacobs Creek and ANZ, for making this event possible. It truly is a special event. It's a first Grand Slam of the year. We have a lot of support, a lot of colors, a lot of nations we see during these 2 weeks, and it's truly a joy to play here. And I would just like to everybody to remember the victims of the floods in these 2 weeks. Of course, we try to contribute as much as we can, and just a little gesture of remembering those people who suffer a lot. So they are not alone. And then, of course, in the end, I dedicate this title to my family, my brothers, my girl Yelena, back home, my people that have been with me for so many years, and there's been a tough period for our people in Serbia, but we are trying every single day to present our country in the best possible way. So this is for my country, Serbia. Thank you.
Ambassadors Ana Ivanovic, Novak Djokovic, Elena Jankovic, they have done so much to lift the hearts and spirits of their nation.
To prepare for the world press and the photos, we thank you very much for your participation.
Deserved winner, Mats.
Oh, he really has matured very nicely into
we look forward to seeing you all again when we do it once more
a man
next year.
On and off the court, especially on the court. And it very rarely goes back the other way. So he's just going to get better and better because the results are coming. And it's pretty obvious why the results are coming.
Is it a changing of the guard too? Is Federer going to win more majors?
Well, I think Federer has a good chance of winning more majors. Obviously he's nearly 30 years old. He doesn't have too many years left. But I think he'll win another one. I think Nadal is not going anywhere. I think Novak Djokovic might overtake them in the rankings because he's so consistent, and if he's this dedicated, then yes, it's possible. But certainly now he knows how to win, and it makes the next major and the next major much more interesting suddenly.
So I hope you've enjoyed it. The Australian Open 2011. Kim Clijsters and Novak Djokovic, the champions. David Mercer will fill you in with the gaps of what we do from here to the end of our coverage.
Thank you very much, Chris. Yeah, we'll leave you with a closing clip and remind you that if you missed any of the action, or you want to get some after-match reaction, you can watch Game, Set and Mats later today with Mats Wilander. The next major you can watch here on Eurosport, of course, is the French Open at Roland Garros. It begins on the 20th of May, when Britain's search for a Grand Slam champion will continue. 75 years and counting. From us all, hope you've enjoyed the fortnight. Bye-bye.